Ehrlich sind sie heute.
That was like Canadian.
Abschied!
Kanada. Switzerland. Switzerland, ja drin. Ja, Switzerland.
Das freut mich wie am Morgen.
Ja,
Alles gut.
Danke vielmals, merci.
The second semifinal on this Saturday in Copenhagen, Denmark, has Switzerland taking on Canada. The Swiss with a big upset against the Finns in the quarters, winning 3-2. Canada beat Russia in overtime 5-4. Canada's won both medal round meetings against the Swiss at the World Championship in 2000 and 2007, but the Swiss have won the last two meetings in the tournament, including an overtime victory last year. Darcy Kemper will start in goal for Team Canada. He allowed 4 goals on 30 shots against Russia. Leonardo Giannoni played against Canada at the Olympics, got pulled in the game against the Canadians, allowed 4 goals on 12 shots, lasted just over a period in that one, but he played terrific against them last year in that overtime win. Stopped all 35 shots in relief of Jonas Hiller last year as the Swiss won the game in overtime.
Really an interesting dynamic for the Swiss. You look at their captain, Rafael Diaz. They play historically a very patient game, but you can't be too patient. You can't let Canada skate all over the ice because you can't defend like you used to. Their coach, Patrick Fisher, who played a little bit in the NHL, he wants them to be more aggressive, so they're kind of stuck between the change of style. They can be a stingy opponent.
Switzerland won a medal, a silver, in 2013 in Stockholm. Their only medal in the last 65 years.
The 6th last year.
And a disappointing Olympics for the Swiss as well.
They really felt they could do something at the Olympics, given the roster constructions, and they just pancaked. You mentioned Giannoni got pulled halfway through that first game of the tournament against Canada. It's like they never really recovered. You look at them, they got 5 guys going backwards. They're already at the red line.
Chipped ahead by Tyson Jost, and now gathered back up by Dean Kukan. 24-year-old. The Swiss are transitioning to a younger team, as you mentioned, Ray. And it's poked away from Kukan by Jost.
A couple of their older, longtime players aren't here. Andreas Ambuel would be one example, one of their leading scorers for years. He's not on the club.
Now spinning and shooting is Kyle Turris, who just missed that. Ekblad plays it down at Jost, the pass out of his reach. And Joel Edmondson moves up for Team Canada. Canadians trying to reach the gold medal game for the 4th consecutive year. Canada's never done that since this tournament adopted a playoff format in 1992. Simone Moser goes in for the Swiss, gets loose behind Aaron Ekblad. Moser swings it back into a race for it. In comes Jean-Gabriel Pajot. And Giannoni played that into the bench, almost out of play.
Everybody's scattering for cover as there is Coach Patrick Fisher. He's coach of the third time at the World Championships, and you're going to see everybody get it. Look, oh geez, he's got it on target. And so Fisher jumps out of the way. Giannoni I think he looks like a race car driver in that helmet.
Well, he's a pretty good goaltender of the Swiss League. He's led that league in save percentage 3 times. He's a 3-time Swiss goaltender of the year in a country that's produced a lot of good goaltending.
Interesting year for him. He was outstanding at the first half of the year and hit the skids a little bit in January. That carried over into the Olympics, and he's had a good World Championship. 14 goals against on 141 shots.
He did lose the net for a while, though, after a loss to the Czechs. They went to Rito Berra for a pair of games. But very good in the quarters rather, against the Finns. Allowed 2 goals on 34 shots.
Choppy start to the game, which is just fine by the Swiss. Canada, I thought, looked way more engaged in the quarterfinal against Russia than they did at any time in the preliminary round. Let's not forget they don't have Jaden Schwartz available today. The St. Louis Blues forward injured in the 3rd period against Russia, a shoulder injury, and he's out for the tournament. Fortunately, no surgery required.
Darnell Nurse, lead pass for Braden Shen, chips it there for Connor McDavid, working McDavid, centering pass, just missed Nugent Hopkins. And Timo Meier plays it out. Meier plays for San Jose in the National Hockey League as Mirko Mueller has it back. Up ahead for Gregory Hoffman. Hoffman pivots back. Back at the point. Fora plays it across for Mueller. And there's Ryan Murray on it now. Throws it right back in front, picked off. And a shot right on, stopped by Kemper. Rebound, loose in front. Hoffman couldn't reach it. Oh, what a chance there for the Swiss. And now we'll get a penalty to Canada. It's going to go to Darnell Nurse. And the Swiss will get the game's first power play.
Nurse arguing the call. But a turnover behind the net is Murray's pass misses Braden Shen. Kemper comes flying out of the net to make the save. The rebound is pushed aside, and Darnell Nurse will go to the penalty box. The Swiss have 8 power play goals in the tournament. Their big shooter is Ramon Untersander, number 65. He's a right shot. Yossi will run this power play, but Untersander's got a couple of power play goals.
Canada's penalty killing has been excellent so far, allowing just 2 goals on 26 opposition attempts. They're calling Nurse for knocking the net off, I think.
I guess so. Oh, a bit of an awkward call as he looked like he was kind of spinning out of control. He hit the net, and you saw as Gregory Hoffman went to get to the puck, he had an open net. He fumbled it, but as Nurse's leg slid around, it hit the goal post, and Darcy Kemper and the Canadians are going to have to kill a penalty here.
You mentioned Untersander has 2 power play goals for the Swiss. So does Nino Niederreiter of the Minnesota Wild. 8 for 29 are the Swiss. The face-off bounces back to center ice, and swinging back to pick it up is Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators. One of 5 players in the Swiss roster who was in Stockholm in 2013, part of that silver medal team that began the tournament 9-0 before losing to the Swedes in the gold medal game. Giannoni leaves it there for Yossi. A 2nd-round pick of Nashville a decade ago. In comes Yossi. Swings it around to Meyer. Meyer throws that towards the goal, picked off by Edmondson and sent back down the ice.
Whoa.
Giannoni, look out.
That thing was bouncing around all over the place. Giannoni had to drop to his knees to keep it in front of him. 2nd
game of the day in this building, hot outside again. And we've mentioned it before, these 2 buildings being used in this World Championship are not hockey designed buildings. They've added ice surfaces here for the first time this year. Now the play called offside at the Canadian line.
Now the Swiss have not entered the zone with any possession. Yossi did get into the zone. He turned it right over, and out they go. There's Kevin Fiala, who has had quite a year. 23 goals in Nashville. Last year in the playoffs, he broke his femur and somehow was able to rehab and recuperate fast enough to be ready for training camp. Maybe because he's 21. He healed quickly.
That injury has derailed a lot of careers over the years.
And I'm only partly joking that he's 21 and you heal quickly. You heal much quicker when you're younger than if you get older and have that same type of injury.
Sven Andrighetto with the Colorado Avalanche plays out ahead. Kemper sweeps it aside. Fiala trying to dig it free. That was knocked away by Parayko. Colton Parayko sends it back down. 35 seconds to go in this power play. There's Rafael Diaz. 5 NHL seasons for him. Moves it ahead for Gaetan Haas. Picked off by Ekblad on the backhand, sends that back down the ice.
Nice patient play, and Ekblad clears the zone. Canada's run a penalty killing clinic here for the first minute and 40 seconds.
Yossi fires it down. Bouncing puck. Kemper had to be careful there. Edmondson now rattles it right back down the ice.
If the guys are paying attention, they'll see that the puck's bouncing all over the place. That one bounced shoulder high on Kemper as it went behind the net.
Cherve moves in. No shots for the Swiss on that power play. Cherve shoots. That goes right through the crease. And now Yossi fires. That was blocked. Chappie almost got a stick on that. And now Anthony Beauvillier picks it up for Canada. Beauvillier back in the Canadian lineup as a regular with Jaden Schwartz out. Back at the point is Murray. Slaps it down to McDavid, across for Jordan Eberle. Eberle in, shoots! And Giannoni makes the stop and hangs on.
Eberle didn't get a shift in the 3rd period and overtime against the Russians, as he had a good start and then just kind of fell out of the rotation for Coach Bill Petersy. It's a 30-foot wrist shot here that Giannoni's able to make the stop on.
Just turned 28 to Jordan Eberle. 2-1 the shots on goal in favor of Canada. No score here in the first period. If you missed it earlier, Sweden beat the United States 6-0 in the first semifinal. The Swedes will get a chance to defend the gold medal they won in a shootout against Canada last year. Nugent Hopkins in, fires, and Giannoni makes the glove save and squeezes that, with Schenn looking for the rebound.
Nugent Hopkins has surprised me a little bit. I watched him grow up and then went to Red Deer. He's always been a centerman. I never had the picture that he could move to the wing and be comfortable. When they moved him there with Connor McDavid, it seemed to just work for him. He's a really clever player, always been very smart. And I think the key for him is he can think along with McDavid as they're going at the speed that McDavid goes at.
Parayko fired that wide. Canada, by the way, the home team in this game, has the last change. Vlasic sends it down, just missed Beauvillier. Parayko steps up. Colton Parayko trying to poke that ahead. And now played around by Michael Fora, but held the line by Vlasic. A long wrist shot, and that went just wide. Now Parayko back on it. He got crunched by Chervet. And a sit back down in the Canadian zone. An icing called against the Swiss.
Well, I would say a pretty tentative, nervous start by the Swiss. They had the power play that they didn't complete any passes on. Now they've iced the puck 3 times in the first 6 minutes.
So face off back in the Swiss zone. And McDavid gets tossed, so Schenn, a natural center, will step in. In fact, 3 natural centers on this line for Canada.
Yep, and they would tell you the smart guys play in the middle. So you got 3 real smart guys playing. That we always said the wingers, they only have to use half their brain. If we're playing in the middle, we had to use it all.
Nugent Hopkins winds in.
Just trying to make our role seem more important. I think we were.
I didn't want to say that, but Schenn drops it down to Nugent Hopkins. He gets free. Little backhand shot. Giannoni squeezed that and tipped over. Makes the stop and hangs on with 13:28 to go here in the first. No score here in the opening period. You're watching the 2018 World Hockey Championship from Copenhagen, Denmark. Very well-run event that's already topped 500,000 spectators entering play today. The tournament record just over 700,000 in Prague in 2015. Face-off was won by Joel Vermeen, the former Tampa Bay Lightning. For 3 full years in North America after being drafted in the 7th round by them. And of course, a landmark for Swiss hockey last summer when Nico Hischier became the first Swiss-born player to be picked first overall in the NHL draft. Aaron Ekblad shoots right on. Giannoni makes the save. Shoveled it back down. Jost picks it off. Tyson Jost works back at the corner, feeds Ekblad. Cross he goes. Edmondson a long shot. That went just wide as Giannoni swatted at that. Jost tries to knock that back. Turris shielded his man off, and now Jost gets free in the corner. Tyson Jost works back. Banks it back to Edmondson. Fired that wide, now sent back in front by Turris. And just out of the reach of Ryan O'Reilly. Edmondson swats at that again to keep it alive. And finally moved to center ice by Vermeen.
Tyson Jost has quickly become a favorite of Coach Bill Peters. He started on the 4th line, moved his way all the way up the lineup, and with Schwartz out, he's the winger that replaces Schwartz with Kyle Turris.
Jost, the 20-year-old from Kelowna. Had 12 goals this year in 65 games for Colorado. The 10th overall pick to the Avalanche. Now Bo Horvat swings that back down to the Swiss zone. Giannoni out to play it. Picked up now by Mueller. Mirko Mueller. Swings that rink wide. The lead pass goes ahead to Gaetan Haas. He was ridden off the puck by Nurse. And now centered there by Moser. That was knocked down and brought back by Pajot. He's got Pierre-Luc Dubois with him. Dubois drops it back for Pajot. In shoots. Giannoni punched that away. And the rebound just skipped over the stick of Horvat. Brought in now by Beauvillier for Dubois. Anthony Beauvillier tied up in the corner. And a big hit there by Josh Bailey. Forced the puck free, and now Parayko shoots. That skips wide. Barzal feeds it back to Vlasic. Bounces back down to Beauvillier to Parayko. He's got a lane along wrist shot. That goes wide. And waiting for it is Tristan Shervay. He was tied up though by Bailey. And Beauvillier chops it right back in. And again. And finds Barzal. At Barzal got spun around in the corner. And Kukan plays that up along the board. Rink wide pass to Noah Rod. And the play called offside at the Canadian line.
I like the relentlessness of Canada's forecheck. Now, it hasn't really generated much in the way of offensive chances, but over time, if you can play with that pace, you just wear them down. Eventually, a mistake is made that the goaltender can't make the save on. But it has been a really energetic, really disciplined start for Canada. The Swiss are having a tough time putting a couple of passes together.
Swiss fell behind in that game in the quarters against Finland and then scored 3 times in 5 minutes in the second period to bust it open. Niederreiter moves in, fan of the shot. Edmondson bumped him off the puck, and now Nugent Hopkins brings it back with Shen. McDavid trailing, and Ekblad jumps into the rush. Aaron Ekblad throws it back in front. The pass just missed Nugent Hopkins. And Niederreiter back the other way. Edmondson going back. Fiala moved in on him. Ekblad takes it away, and McDavid's got a head of steam as he brings it up. Going to chip that ahead for Jost. It's knocked down by Andrighetto. Sven Andrighetto in with Vermeen. Poke check there by Parayko. Now the centering pass goes right in front. Meyer in, shoot, just missed wide. Another chance. Meyer just missed out on the tip. 2 good chances for the Swiss there. Ekblad had it skip off his stick. Untersander bumping there with Parayko. Andrighetto works it free. And Ekblad finds O'Reilly. Long lead pass to Turris. He was tied up. And Parayko has it back for Canada. O'Reilly pokes it back, and now Jost picks it up. He's got Turris on the lead pass. In comes Turris, knocked away from him. Jost swings it back in. Darnell Nurse has jumped into the rush. Nurse got spun around. And now scooped up by Untersander. Up ahead to Moser, and Pajot stepped into him. Shots are 6-1 in favor of Canada here in the first period so far. Nurse fires it down. He got bumped hard by Haas. Moser. Rink wide to Haas. Long shoot in, glove down there by Kemper. Murray. Lead pass to Horvat. Bo Horvat comes in, trying to pull that around the defender. Poked ahead by Murray, but now moved ahead by Diaz, who finds Yossi. And Yossi swings back. 8.5 to go in the opening period. Lead pass to Shappy. Sends it all alone in front. Great chance for Shervay. Turned away in tight by Darcy Kemper. No score in the first, but the chances are piling up. 1.5 to go here in the opening period. Canada seeks to advance to the gold medal game. That would guarantee Canada a medal in 4 straight World Championships, something it hasn't done since 1994 to 1997, a string that you were part of, Ray.
Yeah, we had a silver in one of those years, and it's hard to win a medal here. The tournament's so long, you can lose your way here, and Canada dominated the first 10 minutes, but the Swiss had 2 golden opportunities.
The center feeds it across. Kukan fanned on that, and now Fiala has it knocked away. McDavid pokes that ahead. And Ekblad goes back to swing it up. Ekblad. Nugent Hopkins chips it down. Center goes back with McDavid, closing quickly on him and throws it right back in front. Corby got handcuffed by that pass, and Shen picked it off. Nugent Hopkins to Edmondson. Ekblad shoots. That pinball away in front. Kukan back for it.
Untersander gave the puck to Corby in a terrible spot. He couldn't handle it, and all of a sudden Canada's got it.
Now McDavid works it free. McDavid walks it in, shoots, rebound, loose in front, and Shen couldn't reach that. And now Niederreiter chips it back down to the Canadian zone.
All that out of a ill-advised pass. Canada comes close again.
Beauvillier to Bailey. Josh Bailey shoots. You only knocked that away with Beauvillier standing right in front. Murray slots it down to Barzal. Matt Barzal threads that pass back to Nurse. To Murray. That wrist shot goes off Noah Rod, up and out of play.
Well, no surprise, Connor McDavid around the puck again. What a tournament he's had. 16 points. This shot goes through the crease, and it's actually Untersander that gets there before Nugent Hopkins and Shen. This is earlier on. Timo Meier hooks this just over the glove of Kemper, and a beautiful pass moments later. Diaz to Gervais. He's at the end of it, rather, and Gervais turned aside by Kemper. Those were back-to-back chances, about 30 seconds apart.
Simone Moser chips that down to the Canadian zone. Nurse goes back for it. Picked up by Matt Barzal. The poke check there by Haas. And now Bailey to Murray. And Ryan Murray, the Columbus Blue Jackets, moves in. And the play is called at the Swiss line.
I felt the Canadians played their most engaged, their best game against the Russians. 3 times they had the lead and looked like they had the game about in control, but 3 times in under 2 minutes, Russia was able to come back and tie Bill Peters' team to get it to overtime, and Ryan O'Reilly, of course, with the power play goal.
Well, you talked about in the opening, Ray, the 3 power play goals for Canada is so important in that game.
They only had 5 power play goals coming into the quarterfinals, and 3 of them were in one game against Korea. It was a real struggle for Canada to find anything that they really liked on the power play. They had to love it in the quarters.
Rico couldn't poke that away. Andrighetto moves in on Vlasic. Timo Meier comes in as well, and now Pajot. Up ahead to Dubois, and Pierre-Luc Dubois winds in along with Horvat and Pajot. Kukan picks it up. And Dean Kukan of the Blue Jackets moves it ahead. Kukan played 11 games for Columbus, spent the rest of the year with Cleveland in the American League. In comes Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois drops in. Horvat up the outside of the post, and Horvat looks skyward. Sent back in by Vlasic. Parayko has to retreat as it's flipped back out by Meier. Brought in by Vermeen. Vermeen works back in, and Vlasic knocked that away. Andrighetto feeds it back to Yossi. Winds and shoots. Loose puck in front to put it right through the crease. Oh, Meier, an unbelievable chance, and threw it right through the blue paint.
All he had to do was handle the pass, and he could have walked it into the net.
And now walking in is Pajot with a shot, or Joe Strata with a shot. That's knocked away. And O'Reilly back with it. What a chance for the Swiss. Ekblad to Turris. That was poke checked away. Niederreiter picks it up and fires that back down to the Canadian zone.
Gord, we often talk about a little playbook I have for the underdog to beat the favorite team, and one of them is capitalize on your chances. They've had an open net and a 15-foot shot, and they didn't get a shot on goal on either one.
Now Fiala moves in and shoots. That goes wide. Edmondson had lost his stick. Mueller plays it back across. A long shot kicked away by Kemper off the stick of Frick. Well, the pass picked off by Turris. Looks ahead for Edmondson. He's peeling off on a change. Under 5 to go here in the opening period. No score. Shots are 8-3 in favor of Canada, but as you mentioned, two of the best scoring chances in the period weren't shots on goal.
Well, Myers from a foot and a half, he just mishandled it, and he had the one from 15 feet out too, so two glorious chances for him.
Now Shervay falls. Shin got a stick on in. Play continues. Picked out by McDavid. Across for Nurse. Darnell Nurse banks it off the boards up the center ice to McDavid. In comes McDavid. Flips that around, waiting for it is Pulock. Ryan Pulock steps up. Now it's brought back by Untersander. Feeds across for Shervay. Shervay centers a bouncing puck. Kemper plays that ahead, right in the stick of Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins spilled, and Yossi plays it back up to center ice. Here's Haas with it. Dayton Haas drops it back. Yossi walks it and shoots. It's off a stick and wide. Back in the point is Diaz, a drive. Bouncing puck in front. That goes through the crease as well. As Haas got a stick on that. Wow.
I'd say the early Swiss jitters are gone.
And Diaz goes ahead to Vermeen. Joel Vermeen knocked down there by Parayko.
Oh, that's a good play by Parayko. Took away all his ice. There's nowhere to go, and Vermeen had to stop. Parayko just took the puck right off his stick.
And then buried him.
For good measure.
Bailey trying to work that free. He's got two Swiss players all over him, including Roman Yossi. Now Barzal picks it free. Bailey back at the point. Parayko shoots off the foot of Meyer and wide. Vlasic steps up. Bouncing puck behind the goal for Barzal. Now Beauvillier trying to work it free and does. Beauvillier to Barzal. Matt Barzal pivots back. Works it back in front. Picked up by Beauvillier. Goes high and wide. Here's Parayko back on it.
Bill Peters is liking this line. They've been out a lot here in this first period. Bailey, Beauvillier, and Barzal.
And Barzal swings it back. Beauvillier in, shoots. That's tipped high and wide again. And Parayko stepped into Meyer. Now the centering pass broken up by Parayko, who took that away from Meyer. And now Barzal back with it as Canada changes. Up ahead for Pajot. Jean-Gabriel Pajot tried to poke it ahead, knocked down by Enzo Corby. And Corby fires that in the corner. Niederreiter with it. Nino Niederreiter drops that back. Fiala reaching for it. And Ekblad slides it ahead for Dubois. Niederreiter. Banks it by Horvat. And now by Edmondson. Picked up by Ekblad. Pass knocked down at the line by Kuka. Feeds it back in front. Fiala shoots. Blocked by Edmondson. Fiala's got it right back. Bouncing puck in the slot. Corby couldn't contain it. And Ekblad has it back for Canada. Up for Pajot. Flips that wide of the goal. Canada will change again. A minute and a half to go here in the opening period.
Well, that was Fiala that time with a puck that he mishandled in a scoring spot. The Swiss have hurt themselves. They get chances and haven't even got the puck on net.
In comes Shervay with it. Tristan Shervay winds in, fires, scores! Tristan Shervay gives Switzerland the lead.
The last 6 or 7 minutes, it's been all Switzerland. Tristan Shervay, his second goal of the tournament. Gets a terrific long pass from Untersander. And Shervay pulls the puck to his feet, gets Nurse to back in and beats Kemper out over the glove. Look at this pass by Untersander, gives Shervay enough room to skate. He changes the angle just a bit. Kemper's not going to love that one as it beats him over the glove, and the Swiss are pumped as they have a 1-0 lead here. Just over a minute left in period one.
Swiss are 4-0-1 in the tournament. They score first. They only lost in overtime. A shootout against the Czechs. Shervay's second of the World Championship. Loose puck in front for McDavid. Knocked down for Nugent Hopkins. Vlasic reaches the rolling puck. Marc-Edouard Vlasic shoots at the flex wide. Schenn back on it. Inside a minute to go here in the period. Rito Shapi. Up ahead for Shervay. Knocked down by Nugent Hopkins. The puck came free for a moment. Vlasic was all tied up. And now Parayko back with it. Colton Parayko. Up ahead for Schenn. And Kukan goes back to the loose puck. Haas. Being worked over there by Beauvillier. Banks it back around. Untersteiner moves it back down to the Canadian zone. Here's Edmondson with it. Across to Ekblad. Ekblad for Barzal. Winding in is Matt Barzal. Holds in the corner. Trying to swing that back. Now Barzal. Wrists it down to Bailey for Beauvillier. Inside 10 seconds to go. Bailey with it. For Barzal. Back to Bailey. Drops it off. Edmondson works it and shoots. And Giannoni makes the stop as time expires here in the opening period. Tristan Shervay, the lone goal in the opening 20 minutes. Switzerland has a 1-0 lead on Canada in the semis of the 2018 World Championship.
The scoring player for Team Switzerland, number 1, player number 60, Tristan Shervay.
Slide like you did there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feed you.
Let's go, boys.
Tristan Gervais plays for Bern in the Swiss League, one of the most remarkable teams in all of European hockey. They average 16,000 fans a game, the most of any team in Europe, in a city of 120,000.
That is a pretty remarkable number, percentage of people that go to the game.
So on a given night, roughly 1 in 7 people in town are at the hockey game. And Gervais gives the Swiss the lead, 1-0. Swiss come in having won back-to-back games over France in the last round-robin game, and now brought in and shot right on by Noah Robb. The save made by Kemper. Here's McDavid. Lead pass for Shen, missed. And icing called as Diaz goes back.
I don't think it's imperative that Canada feel like they've got to press, they've got to score. What they should be thinking is pressure Patrick Fisher's team. Make them go back on the forecheck. Make them try and break the puck out of the zone. Eventually, you start to wear them down. I thought Canada did that early, and then the Swiss took over that first period. But it's really almost a plodding style, a plodding thought. But that's how you wear down and break down a team that can shuttle a game down like the Swiss can.
How about Fisher's first intermission speech to his team during the game against Finland? If you want to watch Canada play in the goal, or if you want to watch the Finns play in the semifinals, keep playing the way you are.
Well, his assistant coach, Christian Volven, he's a bit of a cracker too. He was on fire at the World Junior Tournament in Buffalo.
Head coach of the Swiss junior team.
He is a firecracker.
In comes Fiala, drops it back for the trailer. Niederreiter in, shoots. That goes high and wide.
Man, that's 3 great chances, not even on the net.
Niederreiter back on it, being tied up by Turris. And now Fiala back with it. Kevin Fiala walks out of the corner, plays it back across, and that shot fired right on. Niederreiter picks up the rebound, banks it back for Untersander. Now Kukan towards the goal, knocked away by Kemper. 12 of these Swiss players, 25 years of age or younger. A changing of the guard for the Swiss team is that's fired wide by Fiala. Fiala just 21, a first-round pick of Nashville in 2014.
Gord, I talked earlier about how the Swiss are trying to change their style of play. Look out.
Niederreiter drops it back, takes the return pass, but Edmondson broke that up.
What a great play by Edmondson.
And now O'Reilly moves in for Barzal, trying to knock it down. Matt Barzal falls. O'Reilly gets to it. Ryan O'Reilly with the overtime winner for Canada in the quarterfinal against the Russians. Barzal knocked off stride there by Mirko Mueller. Plays it back to O'Reilly. He and Barzal go back to work as Joe's trying to get loose in front. Mueller for Meyer at the line, knocked down, and Ekblad shoots. Save made by Giannoni. And Giannoni just able to sweep that away. And now Ekblad holds the line for Canada. Aaron Ekblad, a long wrist shot. Hit Barzal. Ekblad flips it back in, but Canada's got to tag back up. And now Andrighetto walks in across the line. The play called offside.
Just to finish that thought, that as they move the team younger, then you're able to change thought a lot easier than if you had a whole bunch of older guys, which is why they've gone young. You see Joel Edmondson of the St. Louis Blues makes a terrific read as Niederreiter wants to play catch in the middle. He's going to one-time that puck as soon as it comes back. But Edmondson gets his stick out and deflects the puck away.
Matthias Seeger just retired in the Swiss League this year. At the age of 40, he played in 16 World Championships, a record for playing at the top level of the tournament. Ryan Murray moves it across the line. Murray shoots. That goes just wide. Held now by Bailey. Josh Bailey works around Haas, banks it around for Barzal. And Barzal spins back in the corner. Diaz stripped him of the puck. Rafael Diaz back with it. Rink wide, he goes for Yossi. Roman Yossi shoots right on. Kemper makes the save. The puck loose for a moment. And Murray pokes it ahead for Nurse. Nurse for Bailey. Now Josh Bailey backhands it but can't clear it out. Picked up by Hoffman, walks in and fires, and Kemper makes the stop and hangs on.
The Swiss turn over a couple of pucks, and they get a scoring chance out of it. Here's the goal in the first period by Tristan Gervais. Takes a long pass from Untersander, beats Darcy Kemper over the glove. Gervais' second goal of the tournament.
Mentioned he plays for Bern. He's been there since the age of 15. His 11th year with the organization for under 16, under 17, under 18, junior. Played for the Swiss B-League team and now plays in the Swiss National League. Scramble draw, the puck controlled by Corby. Gets it back for Kukan. In the corner is Niederreiter, knocked down by Ekblad. The referee gave Ekblad a warning there as Corby picks it up. Banks it back. Kukan can't hold it. And Giannone swings out of his goal. Poke check there by Horvat. And now the line held by Edmondson. Feeds it back down for Horvat. Untersander got blocked there by Duarte. Rebound loose in front. And Pajot battling for it. Turned away twice by Giannone. And Corby careful to hand the goaltender stick back to him. If you toss it or shoot it back, it's a penalty.
Sometimes in the game, you're in a hurry, you forget, you just toss it even though you're a foot away. Corby handed it to him after Giannone stopped Pajot from the goal crease.
Ekblad swings it ahead. That's picked off at center ice by Kukan, who feeds it down. Kemper leaves it there for Pajot. Lead pass for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And Dubois fires it around. Top line comes on as Nugent Hopkins trying to force that free. And Vlasic can't gather up the puck as it bounces over the glass, and the face-off will be in the Swiss zone.
Dean Kukan turned the puck over at the blue line. Now he's chasing the play, 34. Horvat's going to get to the puck. Nobody is in front because Kukan's now behind the net with his defense partner, Untersander. And watch Pajot right on the crease. He gets good wood onto this, but Giannone's right pad is flat on the ice, and he's able to make the stop.
McDavid for the face-off against Chappie. He played for Zurich, the Swiss League champions this year. And now losing the puck is Fora. Michael Fora got beaten in that race by Nugent Hopkins. And Nugent Hopkins falls in the puck, and the face-off's going to come outside.
Michael Fora is a 22-year-old defenseman, plays in Ambry Piotta in the Swiss National League, and he's got hopes that he'll go to North America.
Played 1 year in Kamloops in the Western League.
He's a determined player, a real physical player, and had a little bit of interest from North American teams at 22, so a year or two, he's a name that you might see sign in North America.
Just past 8 o'clock local time here in Copenhagen. Giannone just leaves it there for Diaz, with Joe closing quickly on him. Wouldn't describe puck handling as a Giannone strength in the years we've seen him.
And it's funny, without the trapezoid, goalies go play the puck more. Sometimes they're better off not playing it. They think they're helping, but really they're not.
Turris works it free, throws it back in front, loose puck, taking for it there is Jost. It bounces back to Turris. Turris in the corner for O'Reilly. O'Reilly feeds it back to Parayko across to Vlasic. Back to Parayko, a wrist shot goes off a leg. In behind Turris now in the corner. And Turris stripped Yossi the puck. Feeds that back for Parayko, it bounces by him. Parayko up ahead for O'Reilly. Barrels across the line. Turris snaps that pass rink wide for Jost. Jost spins and shoots. That goes wide. And now Edmondson swings back to pick it up. Broken up by Andrighetto, but the play is called offside at the Canadian line.
Andrighetto doesn't think so. That was a 3-on-2 after he turned the puck over.
Patrick Fisher's an emotional guy behind the Swiss bench. Played for Wayne Gretzky in Phoenix.
Yeah, 37 games in the NHL. He was a high-scoring player in the Swiss National League. It's really on his players to go make a play. It's okay to make a mistake. Go make a play. He said, but in the past, it's been so beaten into everybody's head to be patient and to be cautious. It's not the way you win anymore.
Puck loose in the corner. Nurse poking at it. Out the other side it goes to Moser. Back at the point is Untersander. That pass goes off the skate, goes right to McDavid. And away comes McDavid with it. Drops it off to Shen. Braden Shen pivots back. Throws it back in the corner. McDavid back for Shen. Walks it and fires. Giannoni save. And Murray holds the line. Feeds it across to Nurse. Everly broke his stick. Nurse works in. Drops the puck back to McDavid. Bailey comes in. Josh Bailey. It's back for Nurse, who's still in deep. A wrist shot, shoots. Hit a leg in front. Picked out now by Shan. That centering pass broken up and chipped ahead. Away comes Niederreiter with it. Check out Moser. And Moser tied up there by Murray. Edmondson, quick pass ahead for Shan. End of a long shift for him. Braden Shan gains the blue line, drops it back for McDavid. Shan back with it. Drops it back off the boards. Bailey looking for it. And Mirko Mueller has it back. Up to center ice. Fiala plays it ahead. In comes Corby. Enzo Corby flips it back in front. Bouncing puck. That goes just wide. Fiala plays it back at the point. Mueller winds and shoots. And it reflects over the glass. And out of play. 12:58 to go in the second period. Switzerland leads Canada 1-0. Back here in Copenhagen, Tristan Chermy's first period goal, the only one of the game so far. A 1-0 lead for Switzerland against Canada. The Swiss have won 2 of the last 3 meetings against Canada at the World Championship, including an overtime victory last year. Leonardo Giannoni replaced Jonas Hiller in that game and stopped all 35 shots he faced in the 3-2 win. Bouncing puck, Kemper swept that away to Edmondson. Jean-Gabriel Pageau up ahead for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois, quick pass ahead to Horvat, walks in and shoots, scores! Bo Horvat ties the game in 1. Same spot as the Swiss goal.
Same spot, same shot, same breakout, and it's 1-1. Bo Horvat of the Vancouver Canucks gets his 3rd goal of the tournament. He takes this puck in the middle of the ice. Nice play from Pajot to Dubois. Now Horvat's outside, and this too is one that Giannoni should stop. Kemper should have stopped the first one. Giannoni should stop this. It goes under his glove, over his pad. Bo Horvat, who's moved to left wing in this tournament, has played very well. Snaps this shot past Giannoni, and it's 1-1.
The man you believe will not, in the not very distant future, be the captain of the Vancouver Canucks.
He is a leader by both effort and word.
And now Jost shoots.
I think there's no question he'll be the Canucks' next captain.
Jost feeds it back. Ekblad shoots. That's blocked. Bounces back to Edmondson. He fires. That goes wide. And Jost knocks it down. Tyson Jost pivots away from Yossi. Stays on it. Now Jost works it back. Giannoni had dropped his stick for a moment. Now Jost sends it back in front. It bounces off a skate and back to center ice.
Gord, we'll see how the Swiss deal with a little adversity here. For about 20 minutes, they'd had the game in decent shape from the middle of the first period to now.
Now Kemper turns it over. And Vermeen couldn't clear it, but now Canada's going to be shorthanded. Joel Edmondson's going to go off for the hook. And so the Swiss will get their second power play of the game.
Yeah, turnover by Kemper behind the net, and it puts Edmondson in a bad spot. So Edmondson here now is going to get called for the hook right there. As Vermeen has the puck, not yet. There's the hook. But you'll see the official's arm go up. The Swiss had a very ineffective first power play.
Had no shots on goal.
Now 1-1, and they've had a chance with their second.
That power play was early in the period. Diaz shoots. That goes just wide. And Andrighetto unloads, and that bounces up over the glass and out.
Sven Andrighetto played his first full year in Colorado. Was traded the deadline a year ago
for Andreas Martinson by Montreal.
And banged up a little bit, but 8 goals this year.
Got suspended early in the tournament for a knee-on-knee collision. Face-off one by O'Reilly. #1 in the tournament in face-off percentage. And now Fiala goes racing to the loose puck. Kevin Fiala. Tap back for Diaz. Andrighetto drops it back. Diaz for Andrighetto. Backdoor pass knocked away by O'Reilly. That was a tap-in for Fiala. Andrighetto back with it. Slides it back across. Fiala slides it back now, takes a return pass from Hoffman. Fiala lines in now. Haas is standing in front. Diaz along. Wrist shot gets through the traffic. Kemper kicked that away. They play it back across, knocked down by Parayko and fed down the ice by Horvat. And Parayko arguing he was tripped. Diaz, the lead pass to Haas. In comes Haas, drops it back for Diaz. Across he goes to Andrighetto. Andrighetto feeds it down. In the goal mouth, the puck is loose, and Hoffman couldn't connect, and now Fiala has it back.
These penalty killers have been on the ice the whole time.
Andrighetto fires. It's blocked by Vlasic. The puck goes right back to Andrighetto. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Horvat's exhausted. Andrighetto slaps it back across. Fiala feeds it back in front. They score! Gregory Hoffman taps it home, and the Swiss are back on top.
The Canadian penalty killers on the ice for the entire penalty, totally gassed. It's way easier to be on the ice for a long time when you have the puck, even though you're tired. But the Swiss eventually get control of the puck, and they start to move it around. Fiala holds the puck, moves it into the middle. Hoffman's gonna get the first touch. I don't know if Haas gets it after. I don't think so. We'll get a look here. Nope, that's Gregory Hoffman. Hoffman was on the Olympic team only because there was a late injury. And so Hoffman was added just 2 weeks before the tournament. He had 1 assist, played a couple of games, but He's got 4 goals in this tournament. Scored in the quarterfinal, now he's got one in the semi.
And now Kemper plays it around. So a misplay behind the goal leads to a penalty, leads to a power play goal. And the Swiss are back in front. Murray looks ahead for McDavid. The pass missed. It'll be an icing call against Canada. 9:54 to go here in the period.
Gregory Hoffman was a 4th-round pick of Carolina in 2011. He got 22 goals this year for Lugano. Here in the middle of the ice, he's moved from the top down towards the net, and he tips it in. Kemper's out of the net. Horvat doesn't get back quick enough, and you have to believe that the penalty killers were worn down, not quite as quick to the man with the puck, which was Fiala. He's able to hold it, find Hoffman, and it's in the back of the net.
Nurse off the face-off win by Shen. And Darnell Nurse up ahead for Murray. And Ryan Murray fires that down the Swiss zone. Giannoni knocks it down. Shen comes into the forecheck. Nugent Hopkins poking at it as well. And squirts back in front, picked up now by Untersander. Up for Niederreiter, who flips that down to the Canadian zone. Fiala swings it back to Corvi. Niederreiter back with it. And a rolling puck, Murray finds the stick of Nugent Hopkins ahead to McDavid, streaking in. Connor McDavid works in, drops it back, Shen in, shoots, and Giannoni got just a piece of that.
He waved at that with his glove. Man, McDavid's speed just opened up the whole ice for Braden Shen.
Chopped back up by Ekblad. He finds Bailey ahead to Barzal. Matt Barzal winds his way in. Barzal works it back in front. Giannoni knocked that away. Fora trying to clear it out. He got bumped there by Beauvillier. Now knocked down by Bailey. Puck loose in the corner. And Fora goes ahead. That's moved out by Kukan. 8:45 to go in the second period. Switzerland leads Canada 2-1. Vermeen slides it ahead to Meyer. Timo Meyer works it back for Andrighetto. A bouncing puck skips through the crease. And Barzal plays out to the sideboards. Back he goes now. Fora fans on the shot. Picked up quickly by Beauvillier. He's got Bailey and Barzal with him. In comes Bailey. Drops it back to Barzal. Swings it back across. Oh, what a save by Giannoni. Did he get it? He did. Unbelievable stop by Giannoni to keep it a 2-1 lead. No shortage of chances at both ends of the rink. The shots here in the period are 10-9 in favor of Canada. A 2-1 lead for Switzerland.
Anthony Beauvillier doesn't get full wood on that shot, but a remarkable effort by Giannoni to get across the net and make the save.
Now Parayko in shoots, and Giannoni makes the stop on that. And Beauvillier still shaking his head on the Canadian bench.
He's been outstanding tonight. Look at this play from Barzal. He puts it right on the tee. And the save from Giannoni. Look at Giannoni's stick. He lets it go as he just flings himself across the net to make the save on Beauvillier.
Now Pierre-Luc Dubois out there with Jordan Eberle and Pajot. Yossi moves it by Pajot. And Eberle swings it across to Parayko. Parayko gains the line, comes walking in. Chappie steps into him. And now Dubois comes in as well. That's 2 big Canadians that close there on Diaz. Now Chappie a long shot. That was blocked. And Diaz has the rebound go off a stick, up and out.
It almost hit Mark Edward Vlasic, or it did hit him pretty high. The puck was deflected and then hits him, goes up into the netting, and you see it spinning around. Oh, deflected once. Ooh. Oh, right off the top of the noodle. It hits him in the helmet and goes up into the netting. Noah Rada, second round pick in 2014 by San Jose.
Put the full head bandage on there by the looks of it.
I think the doc was in a hurry. Didn't really clip that up and make it neat, did he?
No. Nurse. Works it back down, but again, the play called offside at the Swiss line. So you try to pry these games open, chip away at it, and you try not to get frustrated, as you've often pointed out.
The frustration part, it's amazing. When you're a little kid, they tell you don't try to do everything yourself. Use your teammates, move the puck. Frustration is such a powerful emotion. These guys know you can't do it yourself, but the more the game stays like this, the more frustrated you get, and it gets harder for you to move the puck.
Nurse, lead pass to Turris. And Turris throws that rink wide for Jost. Pounds it down to the Swiss zone. Giannoni leaves it there for Mueller. That was knocked down, kept alive by Nurse to an open wing, and now Pulock moves up for it. Pulock down to Turris. Puck skipped away from him. Nurse pitches up on the other side to keep it alive. Moves around Moser. And Turris digs for it now. Nurse holds and shoots. Giannoni looking the other way, made the save. It's tapped back to him and he hangs on. A strange save there by Giannoni.
Weird sequence. Giannoni looked like he thought the puck was getting dumped around the boards. I'm not really sure why he turned his body as he did, but that became really difficult. He slammed the rebound out in the slot, and then Gregory Hoffman goes and hands it back to him. And Giannoni had to be sharp to stop that as well.
Giannoni was number 2 in the Swiss League in save percentages here at .929, but you mentioned a great first half. Tailed off somewhat in the second.
He played 46 games.
Corby shown out in the face-off circle against Shen.
And those are 56-game seasons, so he virtually played the whole year.
McDavid plays it back in the corner for Nugent Hopkins. Diaz steps into him. Nugent Hopkins has it knocked away, picked off by McDavid. And McDavid loose in the corner. Flips that back, a long shot by Pulock. And it deflects over the glass and out. That was Ekblad with the shot, pardon me.
Ekblad career high 16 goals, that's a dangerous chance for him to get into the top of the circles to shoot it. Another look at Rafael Diaz. He and Roman Josi are the matchup pair that they want on the ice against Connor McDavid as much as possible. But they just took him back off the ice. They'd been out there for a while, so the McDavid line stays.
Shen wins the face-off back to Ekblad. In behind the goal now is Nugent Hopkins. You got a Swiss defender without a stick. Gets one now from a forward. So McDavid winds across the top. In comes McDavid. Right through the broken stick. Sends it back in front. And Sherway, the defender, couldn't clear it out without a stick. Ekblad. Back to McDavid. McDavid swings it across for Edmondson. Edmondson, a centering pass goes just wide. Now Ekblad back with it. Ekblad winds it across to McDavid. Back for Ekblad. Almost like a power play for Canada now. Ekblad swings it across. McDavid back to Ekblad. Walks in, waits, shoots. That was blocked as Fora got in the way. Shen back to Edmondson. In comes Joel Edmondson, winds and shoots. That's blocked. And McDavid reaches out and holds the line for Canada. Back down to Shen. Flips it back to McDavid. McDavid back for Ekblad. This is closing in on a 2-minute shift for this forward line. Ekblad shoots. That goes just wide. Nugent Hopkins picks it free. And now sent down the ice by Mueller. That's an unforced error, or a forced error if you want to call it that, for Switzerland, because now they won't be able to change and Canada will.
Right, they can't change. They can't call a timeout. But one of their players doesn't have a stick. So Reto Shapi is over here looking for a stick, and if the trainer is at all sharp, he'll take a long time to hand it to him. They kind of worked their way back. They had to get rid of the puck. They got to ice it. If they win the draw now, ice it again. By that time, you'll have your wind back, because you look at Reto Shapi, who's going to take the draw. He's doubled over.
Beauvillier will take the draw for Canada. There was Barzal and Bailey. Controlled by Canada. Barzal works along the boards, walks in and fires. That goes just wide. Now Parayko knocks it down. Colton Parayko in for Barzal. Barzal pivots away from Mueller. And Barzal drops it off to Vlasic. Mark-Edward Vlasic. Back for Barzal. Plays it back in the corner for Bailey. Josh Bailey back with it. Feeds it back to Parayko. A long wrist shot. That floats wide. Barzal picks it up off the end boards. And Barzal got spilled. Beauvillier has it back. Beauvillier spins along the boards. Feeds it back down to Barzal. Walks right in. Barzal elects not to shoot. Spins back again. Now Fora couldn't clear it, and the line was held by Parayko. Beauvillier tied up. And finally the Swiss play it down, and this won't be icing as Fora shoots that wide of the goal.
Well, that is an escape by the Swiss. Canada, all kinds of possession. The Swiss able to hold on without any real danger.
Now Beauvillier holds and shoots. Giannone dives out to make the stop, and the puck bobbled around, but the Swiss netminder has it with Dubois digging for the loose puck. 2-1, Switzerland leads here late in the second. .4:20 remaining here in the second period. Switzerland a 2-1 lead on Canada. Has led twice in the game. McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle the forward line now for Canada. And the draw won by Haas. Josi feeds it ahead, and that pass was offside. Hoffman was a half step behind Ekblad. The faceoff will come all the way back down to the Swiss zone.
Hoffman has the goal that's put the Swiss ahead. The power play marker from Kevin Fiala. Interesting as Peters is moving one forward around a lot. Line to line. He's looking for something here, a spark. So he moves Eberle onto the McDavid line. Schenn comes off it.
And now Nugent Hopkins will take the face-off. And it was right down to Giannone. As Haas scrambled that draw, they got dumped by Nugent Hopkins. Jordan Eberle, who, as you mentioned, did not get a shift in the third period against the Russians or in overtime. Moved up to play with McDavid, now will come off. And they'll send Schenn back on. Trying to pull that puck free off the draw. It's moved up by Hoffman. Gregory Hoffman in along with Moser. Moser drops. Walking is Josi. Throws it back in front. That goes just wide. Now Josi back down to Hoffman. Ekblad gets to it. Shields off Hoffman. One hands it ahead for Schenn. In comes Schenn with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins falls, trying to feed it back ahead. Diaz fell, and Edmondson back on it. In comes Schenn after it. Moser up for Hoffman, lets it back down the ice. And just deep enough to avoid an icing situation. The Swiss would not be able to change again. Nugent Hopkins up for Schenn. Braden Schenn had it picked off. In comes Meyer. Timo Meyer in. Schenn poked that away. And now Turris got tangled up. Centering pass. And Andrighetto couldn't reach it. Nugent Hopkins flips it ahead for Kyle Turris. Canada changing as Turris comes in. Canada's not yet had a power play in the game. As Andrighetto winds in, shoots, and Kipper makes the glove stop.
First time Kemper's handled the puck in a while. The 10th shot of this period as Andrighetto tests him from long range, but the play has been down at the other end of the ice.
Can you do that?
Really slowly.
Yeah.
My kids are very good at it.
Yeah.
It's actually a rather sorry attempt when I give it a go.
Here's Fiala back with it, and a play call offside at the Canadian line. Kevin Fiala, as you mentioned, was a first-round pick of Nashville. Suffice to say that he and Peter Laviolette weren't on the same page in the early going.
They might not have been on the same book. Fiala's a talented player. He's going to handle the puck and make moves. And early in his career, it didn't go so well for him. He and Laviolette, or he found out in a hurry that he needed to get a new book. The one he was reading from was the wrong one.
Picked up by Pajot. Trying to knock that back. Fiala picks it off. Racing back is Parayko. Fiala shoots from a sharp angle. Kemper knocked that away. 2.5 to go here in the period. Pajot back with it. Lead pass to Horvat. In comes Bo Horvat with a step, pulls it behind his back, shoots. Giannone makes the stop. Vlasic fires, and Giannone stops that as well. Horvat back in and rolled off his stick. And the bouncing puck at the line held by Pajot for Murray. In deep to Dubois. He throws it back at the point for Nurse. Darnell Nurse to Pajot, fires, and Giannone got a piece of that. Now Fiala on it, tied up by Pajot. Back the other way for Yossi. Canada needs a change, and Roman Yossi goes back for the loose puck. And Yossi holds long enough to get that change completed.
Look at Giannone standing right at the very tip of the blue crease so he could get into Barzell's way.
In comes Shervay, walks in. Shervay back with it. Poke check there by Murray. Shervay swings it rink wide. A long shot tip high and wide off the stick of Mirko Mueller. We're going to stop it with 1:28 to go here in the period.
Bo Horvat is Canada's goal scorer. He scored from the left wing. Here he comes up the right wing. And he's going to toe drag this through his own feet. Giannone stays with him, and Vlasic jumped up for the rebound. Horvat is really an interesting kid. When he came out of junior, many people felt, and I did too watching him at the World Juniors, that he'd be a third line guy. His skating was going to hold him back a little bit. But he had enough strength, and he refined his technique to build power. Now his skating is good. He's fast. Not quick off the mark maybe, but he's a powerful guy. His skating's no longer even remotely a concern.
Edmondson back with it, the puck on his feet for a moment, plays it around for McDavid. And McDavid up to center ice. That was knocked down though. Kept back alive by Vermeen. Losing the sign of the goal for a moment. Andrighetto almost had a shot at it. And then Nugent Hopkins has it back for Canada. Flips it rink wide. Ekblad pokes it ahead for Shan. Shan drops. Edmondson shoots. It's blocked. It bounces right down to Giannone. And he hangs on to that.
Kind of an odd puck that ends up at Giannone. This is going to hit Vermeen, I believe, out in the slot. Nice little touch by Ekblad. The one-timer's coming here. Yes, it hits the stick of Andrighetto and the leg of Vermeen, and like a shortstop that's got to field a little pop fly, Giannone's able to get to it. O'Reilly moves with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins.
Wow. Like a revolving door there.
They want him for this draw. He wins it.
And Parayko works in the deep. Final minute now in the period. Colton Parayko sends it back in front. O'Reilly shoots. And Giannone made the point-blank stop there.
That starts with an O'Reilly face-off win and ends with an O'Reilly one-timer. Strong play from Colton Parayko down the boards. And he's going to find O'Reilly here when he pivots. He's got his head up. He puts it right on the stick. And Shen fires this right off the crest of Giannone. And O'Reilly will take another draw.
That time, though, it's won by Haas. The line held by Ekblad. Nugent Hopkins works it free to McDavid. Connor McDavid gets loose along with Nugent Hopkins. McDavid swings it back to Parayko. Into the corner for Nugent Hopkins. Down for O'Reilly. And O'Reilly Banks it around for Parayko, who's jumped in. 30 seconds to go in the period. Parayko gets loose. O'Reilly comes in to help out. And Parayko's still with it. For Nugent Hopkins. Back around for O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly swings it back to Ekblad. Ekblad shoots. That's tipped over the crossbar. Parayko back with it. In for Nugent Hopkins. Now McDavid gets loose. Works it back in front. Ekblad a backhand shot. Giannone shrugs that away. Rebound. Loose in front. Nugent Hopkins turned away. Time winding down. It's sent down the ice by Niederreiter. And icing called as the horn sounds here in the second period. Hang on a second. They might not go here. You see the save by Giannone. I think the argument's going to be here that there should be some time on the clock.
I believe there should be. Whether it's a second or two, they'll determine it when they look at the video. But a wild scramble. Canada 18 shots in that second period. Only Bo Horvat has beaten Leonardo Giannone. See the Swiss players heading back to their bench. Oh, and now they're saying that is it, so they can all turn around and they can leave.
The period is over, and the Swiss have a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play here in Copenhagen, the semifinals at the 2018 World Hockey Championship.
The goal scorers in the second period. Team Canada to 1-1, scored by player number 53, Bo Horvat. And Team Switzerland to 1-2. Player number 15, Gregory Hoffman.
It's not about the blade. It's the shaving gel that matters. Nivea Men Ultra Glide Technology. For an ultra close shave without irritating your skin. Nivea Men, the art of shaving. Introducing the 2018 IIHF. Player statistics. Team statistics. Live updates. And introducing Guessing Game. Predict each game's final score. Win points and compete with hockey fans around the world. From any smart device, in your own language. The 2018 IIHF, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play. Skoda. Simply better.
Darcy Kemper's allowed 2 goals so far for Canada on 16 shots by Switzerland. Leonardo Giannone, some circus saves in that second period. Has allowed 1 goal on 27 Canadian shots thus far. So a 2-1 lead for Switzerland as the third period gets set to start at even strength.
I'd like to see McDavid on the ice a little more here in the third period. If you've got to double shift him, get him out there a little bit. He's been the most dangerous player in the tournament. He's been pretty quiet here through much of that second period.
He passed down to the Swiss zone, and Shen, the first man there for Canada. McDavid plays it back. Parayko, a hard blast. Giannone makes the save. McDavid held a 1 shot so far in the game. Drops it back. Parayko a drive, and again through the traffic. Giannone swatted that away. Picked up now by Sherbet. Puck left at the Canadian line and dropped back for Vlasic. Marc-Edouard Vlasic across to Colton Parayko. Now where the boards comes Ekblad as Canada makes a quick change. Aaron Ekblad to Matt Barzal. Barzal lines through center ice, goes into Beauvillier. Anthony Beauvillier back to Barzal. Works back in front, Barzal a backhand shot, bouncing puck in front, Barzal back with it. And Barzal to Ryan O'Reilly, a quick shot at the goal post. O'Reilly rings it right off the pipe. Joel Edmondson trying to keep it alive and does. Barzal swipes at it, Niederreiter has it, and drops it back to Corby. Enzo Corby drops it back, that's poked ahead by Barzal. And now Ekblad gathers up the bouncing puck. Drops it off to Barzal. Gains center ice and feeds it ahead for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And Dubois got tangled up there as Timo Meier plays it back to center ice for Andrighetto. And Andrighetto back down to the Canadian zone. Parayko goes after it. And Parayko pokes it free for Horvat.
Sorry, Gord, the lines are in a blender here. Dubois, Turris, Horvat. Horvat's in the middle.
And Vlasic shot goes off the stick of Fora, up and out of play.
Ryan O'Reilly is positioned right out top of the dot. His short side snapshot off the Barzal pass hits that right goal post and ricochets away. O'Reilly had the overtime game winner on the power play in the quarterfinal against the Russians.
Face-off won by Horvat. The shot by Murray bounced around in front. Diaz kicks it in for Hoffman. Up for Simone Moser. Got tied up there by Murray. And now the puck brought in by Haas, but the play was called offside at the Canadian line.
Gaetan Haas played at the Olympics for the Swiss. They use him a little bit of a matchup center. They count on him to check. He was taking some big face-offs towards the end of the period in the defensive zone.
They've got 11 from their Olympic team here at the World Championship. Nurse. Pass ahead for Dubois, quickly ahead for Horvat. In comes Bo Horvat, a sharp angle shot, save made by Giannone. Horvat digging for the loose puck in the corner, now held by Nurse. Back down low he goes for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois for Darnell Nurse. Back for Ryan Murray. Now Nurse shoots, that's tipped wide, rebound, Turris on it now. Giannone's lost his stick again. Play down for Dubois. Feeds it back for Murray. Winds and shoots, that goes wide. Turris waiting for it. Kyle Turris. Back around for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois. Walks across the top of the line, feeds it across to Murray. Now Ryan Murray has it. Walks in, swats it down. Horvat a jam play, side of the goal. Giannone down, 2 whacks at it. And Giannone again has lost his stick, and he hangs on to the puck.
That stick's like a prop. He drops that all over the place. Canada gets the chance when Gregory Hoffman whiffs on the puck. He's trying to poke it by Murray to go up the ice. He loses it, and Horvat almost swings this underneath Giannone. There's the first time he dropped it on the shift, on the Turris deflection. Tough enough playing goal. He's got Haas's elbow in his nose and the battle to his right. Giannone's had a terrific first 2 periods.
3 gone here in the third. Shen wins the draw back to Parayko. Slides it down to McDavid. McDavid back for Vlasic. Winds and shoots, and Giannone knocks that high off the glass. Nugent Hopkins had his stick knocked out of his hands, and a penalty coming to Switzerland.
It's going to be the first Canadian power play.
Well, hang on.
Oh, it's actually Nugent Hopkins. It's going to be the third Swiss power play.
So Nugent Hopkins thought for sure the penalty was against Switzerland, but he's going off.
So here's the official's view. Well, there's the hook right there. You see the corkscrew hook. A critical kill here for Canada. They gave up a power play goal the last time out to Gregory Hoffman that made it 2-1. Down 2-1 now.
O'Reilly wins that face-off back to Vlasic. Swiss had 2 shots in the last power play. Bounces back in front to Parayko. Colton Parayko slides it back down the ice. Giannone swings down around, but Niederreiter wasn't ready for it. Vlasic gathers up the puck at center ice.
Always frustrated me on the power play when the goalie wants to jump into the power play and make a bunch of long passes. They think they're helping, they're not. Guys aren't ready for the puck. They're facing you instead of facing up the ice. Giannone's just got to hold that behind the net. They get lucky as the puck goes into the bench and they can get reorganized.
Ekblad lost the puck to Fiala. In comes Kevin Fiala for it. Plays it around to Haas. He lost it to Shen. He's away with Horvat shorthanded. In comes Bo Horvat with Ekblad as well. Horvat winds in, shoots. Giannone makes the stop.
Oh, Horvat's had a terrific game. Dangerous off the rush.
Andrighetto steps around Ekblad. Horvat back to defend. Andrighetto swings it around for Hoffman. Gregory Hoffman. The centering pass tipped by Horvat, but not out. Andrighetto works in, shoots, scores! Sneaks it short side by Kemper. Gaetan Haas has given the Swiss a 3-1 lead.
Another power play goal. The Swiss get really lucky here. The pass is fanned on back to the point. Canada is an inch away from clearing this puck out. Oh, here's the first play as Horvat drives around Andrighetto. Giannone with the stop. So the play's going to come back up the ice. And the Andrighetto wrist shot will be deflected by Gaetan Haas. And the Swiss have 2 power play goals. That shot's going wide, and he deflects it back between Darcy Kemper's legs, and it's 3-1 Switzerland.
A pair of power play goals, as you mentioned, and now McDavid back with it. Drops it for Josh Bailey, and Bailey back with it. Swings it back to Nurse. Lead pass to McDavid. In comes Connor McDavid. Kukan knocked that away. The centering pass for Bailey bounced away. And Nurse has it back. Darnell Nurse in the corner with it. Shoots short side. That's knocked down by Giannone. And Kukan has it back for Switzerland. Murray up ahead for McDavid. Drops it back to Bailey. For Murray to Nurse, and he can't hold the line. Vermeen was almost off to the races. Murray brings it in. Across he goes to McDavid. Picked up by Beauvillier. Beauvillier loose in front, shoots, and the rebound skipped away from Beauvillier.
He's had as many good chances as anyone for Canada today, next to Bo Horvat.
In comes Andrighetto with it now. Sven Andrighetto. Pivots back, being watched by O'Reilly. And now that shot whistled through the crease by Timo Meier. Meier. Barzal with it. And Barzal lost the puck to Andrighetto. Loose in front, feeds it back across. It bounced off the stick of Vlasic and wide. Andrighetto back with it. Feeds it back. And Fora has to retreat to pick up the rolling puck. Edmondson goes back, icing called against Switzerland.
Anthony Beauvillier gets back in the lineup with the injury to Jaden Schwartz. He stays on the puck here, and he's going to get one chance. Look at the rebound, skips right back to him, hops over his stick. Nice play by Josh Bailey, his Islander teammate. And Giannoni, his 33rd save of the hockey game. Just beaten by Bo Horvat in the second period.
Hang on to that. We mentioned last year came off the bench in the game against Canada in the round robin. Down 2-0, stopped all 35 shots in relief in a 3-2 overtime win. 13:52 to go here in the period, and the Swiss have a 2-goal lead on Canada.
Welcome to Skoda, fan of the game.
Play is underway. Edmondson knocks it down for Canada to Connor McDavid after the TV timeout. They come right back with McDavid. Ekblad races to it. Aaron Ekblad looks ahead for Nugent Hopkins. And now McDavid loose in the corner with it. Stripped there by Yossi and sent back down the ice. As Shen goes back, icing called against the Swiss.
Gaetan Haas's power play goal gave the Swiss a 3-1 lead. There's that pass, Gordon. It was a fanned-on pass from Hoffman. It goes just underneath Bo Horvat's stick. Diaz finds Andrighetto, and then Haas goes across the goalie, across the front of the net. He deflects the shot through Kemper, and it's 3-1 Switzerland.
Shappy up ahead to Fora. That shot is blocked. And now picked up by Shen. Braden Shen for Horvat. Steps around Hoffman. Pokes it ahead. Yossi got a stick on it. Plays it back down to the Canadian zone as Parayko swings back. And icing waved off that time. 7 gone here in the third period. A 2-goal lead for Switzerland. Parayko. Up for Vlasic, the long shot. Giannoni handles that easily.
Frustration bubbling up a little bit. Aaron Ekblad was engaged in front of the net. He felt that Shappy had given him a shot, and he's spent the last 10 seconds arguing with the referee before the puck went up the ice. That, as much as Switzerland's your enemy, frustration is your enemy too. Canada's starting to look that way. They need a couple of shifts, not even if they score, a couple of shifts right now.
Vlasic shoots, that goes just wide, back to Parayko. He winds and fires, that goes high. Back at the other point, Vlasic and Parayko are playing ping pong. Now moved out by Kukan. Vlasic. Lead pass for Dubois. Banks it in for Horvat. That was broken up by Haas. And now Dubois brings it in. Pierre-Luc Dubois works in. Bowls his way to the front of the goal. Giannoni makes a short side save. Vlasic steps up again. Bouncing puck in front. Dubois couldn't reach it. And Moser plays it back down for the Swiss. Parayko. Drops it back to Ekblad, almost stripped there by Fiala. Fiala almost again stripped it there from Barzal. Now Matt Barzal winds ahead. Barzal for Beauvillier. Beauvillier in the corner for Barzal. Loose for a moment for Beauvillier. O'Reilly comes in, banks it back for Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad winds and shoots. Giannoni save. Rebound goes to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly back with it for Barzell. And Barzell in the corner. Spins back. Barzell drops it off to Ekblad. Ekblad in, waits, holds, sends it back in front. And a battle for O'Reilly, couldn't reach it, now does. And Ekblad steps up to keep it alive for Canada. Bouncing puck, and it's just swatted down the ice by Corby. The puck was played with a high stick. And the faceoff will stay in the Swiss zone.
That's a break for the Swiss. If that high stick's not called, Corby had just iced the puck. But now they can change. Canada had them running all over the place. And that's the type of shift I'm talking about, Gord. You have one of those, now you got the McDavid line out. You try and get another one. See if you can make the Swiss start to get a little nervous.
Chappie will take the draw against Shen. Draw control by the Swiss as Chervais plays it out. Back goes Ryan Murray. Noah Rod was closing quickly on him. Parayko to McDavid. Up ahead for Murray. Ryan Murray swings it back for Nugent Hopkins. Chips that in the corner. Nugent Hopkins down to McDavid. Pivots back. Throws it back in front. McDavid rather. Knocked off the puck by Chappie. And Murray has it back for Canada. Parayko with it. Colton Parayko drops it back for Shen. And the play's offside at the Swiss line.
Coming up on the 10-minute mark here, and Canada's defense is going to have to be a little more active, a little more involved. When you get a 2-on-2, make yourself be the third guy. A 3-on-3, be the fourth guy, but get up into the rush. You're going to have to create, have to overload the offensive zone, where the Swiss have started to sit back a little bit, content to just punch this out to center ice.
Turris wins the draw back to Vlasic. Now Nurse wrists it back, and it bounced right in front of Giannoni. Had to go off his leg. Vlasic back across to Nurse. Chipped in by Horvat. Kukan goes back to pick it up. Finds Meyer. At center ice, skipped by Vlasic. And Rigetto back on it. And the late offside indicated, so Meyer left it. And Vlasic moves it ahead to Nurse. Chips it back in. Nurse shoots short side. Giannoni makes the stop. Now Turris digs it free for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois taken down. Ekblad back on it. Aaron Ekblad battles with Andrighetto. And Horvat picks up the puck at center ice. Canada still not had a power play in the game. Turris swings it across to Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad shoots. That goes wide. Kukan back on it. Now it's batted by Nurse, and Darnell Nurse goes back, and icing is called against the Swiss.
Well, down the ice it goes. You use all this energy and nothing happens if you're Canada. But now you've got an offensive zone face-off. Make it work again. O'Reilly comes out with Beauvillier and Barzell now. You want O'Reilly for the face-off. See if they can create something out of an offensive zone draw.
Barzell swings it down to Parayko. Parayko back to Barzell. Walks back in, drops it back. Edmondson a drive, that was blocked. And Meyer lifts it over the head of Parayko and back down to the Canadian zone as the Swiss begin to change. Parayko to Barzell with a head of steam in across the Swiss blue line. Barzell tried to center it, that was blocked. O'Reilly swings it back to Parayko. A quick wrist shot, tipped right on. Giannoni makes the save on Beauvillier.
Wow, what a game Giannoni has played here. That shot 38.
Barzell had it knocked away. Fiala tried to knock it out. Now Corby will. Enzo Corby works in. Corby walks right in, drops it back. O'Reilly picks that up. And O'Reilly swings it ahead to Beauvillier along with Barzell. At Barzell. Well, swing it back in front. Fiala broke that up. Kevin Fiala's had a strong game for Switzerland as well as Ekblad knocks it down. Ekblad works in a rolling puck, flips it back across, now drops it back. Vlasic shoots, he fanned on that. And moved out by Corby.
It's a long time for the Swiss to try and play like this.
Vlasic works it back to Shen. Brady Shen in, shoots, Giannoni save, rebound. And Giannoni hops on that with McDavid reaching for it. And Giannone will hang on again. 3-1, Switzerland leads in the third period. Well, the Swiss have had a fondness for upsets over the years. In World Hockey, beat Canada 2-0 at the Olympics in Torino in 2006. And they fashion another one here in the semifinals. As Ekblad shoots, he whistled it wide. Edmondson had raced up, and now Schenn has it. Braden Schenn drops it off to Ekblad. In comes Aaron Ekblad, throws it back in front of Giannone, gloved that away as Connor McDavid was standing there waiting for the loose puck.
Swiss, there's the feel of them just hanging on here a little bit. They haven't advanced the puck out of their zone other than with a chip out in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Since the Haas goal 8 minutes ago, Canada's had the puck most of the time.
Winner gets Sweden tomorrow night in the gold medal game. The loser gets the United States for the bronze. In comes Moser, a long shot that goes wide. Schenn gets to it. First time in a long time the puck's been in the Canadian zone. Nurse to McDavid. Connor McDavid winds in, centers it. Nugent Hopkins shoots, and the rebound bounced away from Schenn. Murray down to McDavid. The pass too hot for him to handle. Nugent Hopkins sweeps at it. Schenn tries to poke it around to McDavid. Bouncing puck behind the goal. At the point, held by Murray. Murray across for Nugent Hopkins. In for Nurse, starting on those shoots. Giannone makes the stop. The loose puck at the side of the goal goes to Schenn. Braden Schenn whips it back in front. Nurse can't hold it as Andrighetto sends it down.
Canada can get one. They're going to get two. If they can find a way to get one. The Swiss are just hanging on now.
Turris sweeps it into Horvat. Back for Turris. The pass out of his reach. Corby on it. Held by Parayko. Colton Parayko feeds it down, and now Untersander has it back for the Swiss. At the line, held by Vlasic. Back in the corner, Horvat couldn't reach it. Mueller for Untersander, his clearing attempt goes to Fiala. And Kevin Fiala back for Mueller. Trying to find Niederreiter, knocked down by Parayko. Turris with it. Threads it ahead for Dubois. Drops it back to Horvat. Horvat swings it back for Vlasic. Shoots, that goes wide. And now a pileup is...
Somebody lost a shoe and went sliding. Oh, it's Turris. Went sliding into Giannone, so they call goalie like a crease violation, so the whistle blows. The shots are 15-1 in the third period. The only Swiss goal, or the only Swiss shot, was that power play deflection that went past Kemper into the net. There's where Turris slips and knocks Giannone over.
6:31 to go in the third period. Barzal wins the faceoff back to Ekblad.
He's the latest member out here with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins.
Shappy plays it back to center ice, knocked down by Parayko. Taken down, there's a penalty to Noah Rod, and Canada will get its first power play with 6.5 to go in the third period. Finally touched up by Vermeen. And so Noah Rod will go off for the trip.
Switzerland, number 46.
In the game
Oh,
against
slash, actually.
in the game against the Finns, there is the slash about 10 feet away from the official. The Finns scored one power play goal.
And the Swiss are arguing this call after watching the replay. So Canada the power play. 8 for 31 of the tournament. Parayko and O'Reilly have 2 each. McDavid taps it back to Parayko. In for McDavid. To Parayko. Across to Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins slides it down. O'Reilly back in front, flips that wide. Now McDavid back on it, flips it back, and Parayko can't quite reach it. Swiss make a quick change. Parayko ahead for Nugent-Hopkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins holds to Parayko. Nugent-Hopkins swings it down. O'Reilly walks back in front again and shoots, and this time Ginoni gets a piece. Nugent-Hopkins pivots back along the boards. O'Reilly parked in front. Eberle to Nugent-Hopkins. Back for Parayko. To Nugent-Hopkins. In, shoots. Ginoni makes the save. Rebound loose in front. Eberle battles for it. Pokes it free for McDavid. Now McDavid with it. Flips it back to Parayko. Swings it across to Nugent-Hopkins. Down to Eberle. Nugent-Hopkins trying to slap it back across. Walks it and shoots. That's deflected high and wide. Under a minute to go on the power play. McDavid threads it back in front. Loose puck. O'Reilly picks it free. McDavid goes back to Parayko. Back for McDavid. In, shoots. That's blocked. McDavid gets it right back for Parayko. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Nugent-Hopkins slides it down to Eberle. Pulls it back in front. And diving across was Yossi, and the puck played back down the ice.
90 seconds in the zone. Ryan O'Reilly with the best chances. Nothing to show yet.
Ekblad moves away from Chervet, plays it ahead for Turris. In comes Kyle Turris. Poke check there by Mueller. Held to the line by Barzal. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Barzal fans on the pass. Feeds it back across to Bailey. Josh Bailey works in. Bailey to the goal mouth. Shen battles for it. And Ginoni will fall on that with 4 seconds to go in the power play.
Canada tried a couple of these passes and they were close, right across the front of the net. Here's the O'Reilly one. One of the two. He flipped this one wide as he stepped to the front. Here's the second one. You see Ginoni shuffle across. Left foot push, stick flat, trying to keep his body right in front of O'Reilly's stick.
So 4 seconds left in the power play. Turris out there to take the face off. 4:12 to go in the period. And now they'll kick Redo Shapi out to advantage Turris.
2 centers on the ice. Vermeen to take the draw.
Turris wins it back for Dubois. To Ekblad. That pass picked off. Ekblad battling for it. Rod steps out of the penalty box, but Dubois kept it alive at the line for a moment. Pokes it ahead for Ekblad. Ekblad falls. And now Parayko back with it for Dubois. Drop back for Ekblad, inside 4 to go in the third period. Kukan with it. Now Turris lost the puck to Fiala. Fiala works in, and it's knocked away by Ekblad. Dubois, lead pass for Horvat. In comes Bo Horvat streaking in. Swings back, drops it back for Vlasic. Vlasic along, wrist shot, that's knocked away by Kukan. Glove down by Horvat. Horvat back on it. Trying to work it free, Fiala picks it up. And away comes Kevin Fiala. The Swiss phenom at the age of 17. He played in the under-18s, the World Junior, the World Championship in the same year. For the third player ever to do it. And now Beauvillier swings it wide. Vlasic. O'Reilly racing to it to keep it alive. But Vlasic can't hold the line. Under 3 to go, and now Kemper looking to the Canadian bench for instructions. In comes Joel Edmondson. Brings it around. Barzal swings back for it. Kemper moves to the Canadian bench. Barzal swings it back. Ekblad shoots, gloved by Ginoni as the extra skater, Eberle, comes on. 2:38 to go in the third period. The Swiss lead by 2. It'll be 6 skaters on 5 for Canada to face off in the Swiss zone with 2:38 to go here in the third period. 2 power play goals for Switzerland, the difference here. And they took the lead 2-1 in the second period, extended to 3-1 here in the third. O'Reilly digs for the face-off, back to Parayko. Parayko down to McDavid. And McDavid shoots, that pinball's wide. Ekblad jams at it. Nugent Hopkins with a bouncing puck. And now McDavid back with it. Swings it back to Parayko, along wrist shot that was blocked by Diaz. The line held by O'Reilly. Back across to Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad flips it down to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly to Shen. Back for McDavid. Swings it back. Parayko shoots, scores! Colt Parayko with 2:07 to go, and Canada's back within 1.
What a blast. He pounded this. Past Leonardo Giannoni. The 45th shot, 18th of this third period. Right on the tee, and this goes right off the blocker past Giannoni. It overpowers him. Good work by Shen to start this. Oh, it sunk. It hits the pad, deflects in, and there's 2 minutes left.
So now Kemper back in the Canadian goal. It'll be O'Reilly, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins up front. And now Canada may call timeout. So 2:07 remaining. This will give Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, O'Reilly and company time to rest. Ekblad and Parayko will stay out of defense.
Parayko scored in the quarterfinal game. He scores now in the semifinal game. He's got 4 goals in the tournament. The Swiss are compacted back. They get out to the point. You see this thing, it's a curving, sinking bullet. Giannoni's not able to handle it. Parayko and Ekblad celebrate as Canada pulls to within 1.
Colt Parayko now has 7 goals in 15 games for Canada at the last 2 World Championships. All right, so O'Reilly to take the face-off. The draw brought ahead by McDavid. Kemper going back to the Canadian bench. Haas lifts it back out. So Parayko up ahead for O'Reilly to McDavid, across for Nugent Hopkins. 6 skaters on 5 again. Nugent Hopkins throws it back in front. And Ekblad couldn't bat that home. In the corners, McDavid battling for it. Ekblad pokes at it. Behind the goal is Shen. Taps it for McDavid. A bouncing puck at the side of the goal. Nugent Hopkins can't reach it. Ekblad holds the line. Swings it down to McDavid. Connor McDavid back for Ekblad. Across to Parayko. Shen standing in front. Parayko shoots. Tipped by Shen. A rebound. Giannoni shut that down short side. McDavid on it now. Loose behind the goal. Shen on it. Pokes it around to Parayko. Looking back for Shen. Nugent Hopkins digs for it. The puck still loose. Picked up by Shappy. Rito Shappy. Gains center ice. Has an empty net. Tied up by Ekblad. Parayko comes in on him. Picked up now by O'Reilly. Swings it ahead for Nugent Hopkins. A minute to go now in the third period. In comes McDavid. Connor McDavid throws it back in front. Glove down by Ekblad in front. O'Reilly takes a swipe at it and it bounces around. Now Shen hacks it around for Nugent Hopkins. Waiting for it. There's Niederreiter, plays it back down to the Canadian zone. Ekblad goes back, icing against the Swiss. 42 seconds to go in the third period.
No timeouts available here. The Swiss can't call one because it's icing. Canada's already used theirs. So McDavid and O'Reilly come off the ice. Canada's got Turris, Eberle, Horvat, Barzal, and Barreiko and Ekblad stay. Turris and Vermeen on the draw.
One by Vermeen. Diaz plays it around, but the wall was sealed by Horvat. Eberle tries to tap it back. Diaz couldn't knock it down. Here's Barzal back with it. Matt Barzal. Under 30 seconds to go. A bouncing puck at the side of the goal for Horvat. Horvat swings it back to Barzal. Barzal throws it back at the point for Parayko. Cross he goes to Ekblad. In, shoots. Giannoni couldn't find the puck for a moment. It's loose in front. Chance for Turris. He fires. That deflects wide. Picked up now by Eberle. Throws it back in front. Giannoni makes the stop. Loose puck. They battle away for it. And finally, with 7.6 seconds left, Giannoni gets a face-off. There'll be another one in the Swiss zone.
Leonardo Giannoni is still on his knees, exhausted from this third period, facing 17 shots, 44 in the game. And the Swiss are just hanging on here. You'll have O'Reilly taking the job most certainly for Canada. And it's going to be against Reto Shapi.
Parayko teed up for the one-timer. 7.6 seconds left in the third period. Draw control, but not done fairly. So now
he kicked the puck back. Shapi kicked the puck back.
They'll put 2.2 seconds back on the clock.
The linesman signaled. That's why the draw is scuttled. As you see, Shapi kicked the puck away from Ryan O'Reilly. Now don't forget, if Haas gets kicked out of here, that's a penalty as well. Haas and O'Reilly.
O'Reilly wins it back to Parayko. Winds and shoots. It's blocked in foot. Rebound. Giannoni comes across on that. Takes it away from McDavid. And the Swiss take down Canada. They'll go to the gold medal game against Sweden tomorrow night. Canada will play the United States for the bronze. The fourth seed in their group. The Swiss take down the Finns in the quarters and Canada in the semis. And now will face the best team in the tournament, the undefeated Swedes. And in the middle of that pile is Leonardo Giannoni, who was nothing short of brilliant in the Swiss goal.
Gaetan Haas scored a power play goal 4 minutes into the third period. It was the last shot on goal that the Swiss had. The rest of the game was played in that end in front of that net. And Leonardo Giannoni was brilliant. In the early game, Anders Nielsen had 41 saves for a shutout. Here in the late game, it's Leonardo Giannoni, and Canada stunned in the semifinals.
Swiss have beaten Canada now 3 times in the last 4 meetings at the World Hockey Championship. 2 years in a row. Last year an overtime win in the opening round. Now we'll get the player of the game presentations, the top 3 players for each team, and then the Swiss national anthem.
Two power play goals for the Swiss today become the difference.
4 of the 6 playoff games have ended in 3-2 scores.
The prize for best player for Team Canada will be presented by Vladislav Trachik, Russian ice hockey legend and president of the Russian Ice Hockey Federation. The best player for Team Canada, number 53, Bo Horvat.
Horvat had the Canadian goal in the first period.
He had a terrific evening here. He was Canada's best player today.
Vladislav Cechek among those making the presentation.
And the prize for best player for Team Switzerland will be presented by François Thibault, president of Tissot. The best player for Team Switzerland, player number 63, Leonardo Giannoni.
He was brilliant last year against Canada, stopped all 35 shots in relief.
Remember at the Olympics he played Canada, 4 goals on 16 shots and pulled in the middle of the second period, but a star today.
3-time Swiss goalie of the year. And now the 3 best players of the tournament for both teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the award of the 3 best players of each team in the tournament will be presented by Cruiserweight, official sponsor of the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The 3 best players award are selected by each team and will be presented by, for Team Canada, Alain Fabi, Skoda author and member of the board. The 3 best players for Team Canada, number 93, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Number 5, Aaron Ekblad. And number 97, Connor McDavid.
That's 3 first overall picks on the Canadian roster, all named Canada's 3 best players of the tournament. They combined to score a goal a couple of days ago. That was the first time that it happened for Canada since the mid-90s, where 3 number 1 overalls combined to score.
And the prize for best 3 players of Team Switzerland will be presented by Mr. Raptor Refiner, General Manager of Team Switzerland. The best 3 players for Team Switzerland, player number 22, Nino Niederreiter.
El Nino,
41, Mirko
the Swiss top 3 players.
And number 71, Enzo Corby.
Corby looks kind of surprised by the selection.
I've never played an international tournament at any level before the Olympics. Made the Olympic team and now one of Swiss' best 3 players in this tournament. And this is shocking that the Swiss will play for the gold medal.
They'll win their 2nd medal in 65 years. They won a silver in 2013 in Stockholm. They were beaten by the Swedes there. Went 9-0 to start.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And now they've got another crack at them here in Copenhagen.
the national anthem of Switzerland. Congratulations, Team Switzerland. Good luck in the finals. Tomorrow, the bronze medal game will be between Team USA and Team Canada. And the gold medal game tomorrow will be Team Sweden playing against Team Switzerland. Get your official merchandise today. Don't forget to visit the NIIHF merchandise tent in the fan zone. We kindly ask you to remember all your belongings when you leave the arena and look forward to welcoming you again.
Hello, hello. Hello, there we go.
There we go,
Okay.
bingo. Okay, good then.
Give the final shots.
41. No, it wasn't 45. It was 44,
Hang on,
20.
So, hang on. I got it.
They never gave the last shot.
Giannone gets,
They
45.
did give him 45, 20?
45-17.
They only had 17 shots?
Yeah.
Huh. There you go.
That can't be right, is it? Wasn't it 18-1 in the third? Oh, no, sorry, for Canada, yeah. Right, never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind. Okay, all set. Canada's gold medal hopes at this World Hockey Championship end in the crease of Leonardo Giannone of Switzerland.
A remarkable performance for Giannone, who played against Canada in the Olympics, gave up 4 goals on 16 shots, and was taken out of the net as Canada won. However, he comes back in the World Championships and was absolutely spectacular. Start to finish, at the start when the Swiss were nervous, and at the end when they were overwhelmed, Giannone was there. Gord, I have this little theory about an underdog beating a powerhouse. You need great goaltending. They got it. You need to have good special teams. They got 2 power play goals. And you need to take advantage of your chances. 3 goals on 17 shots, a great goaltending performance, and 2 special team goals. It was as good as the Swiss were going to do, and though Canada just piled it on at the end, they just couldn't find the equalizer.
So the Swiss took a 3-1 lead early in the third period. That was their last shot, outshot 18-1 in that last period. But now Canada will try to keep its medal streak alive at the World Championship in the bronze medal game against the United States. The Swiss will face the Swedes for gold here in Copenhagen. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Well, it's never perfect, but we played well. And at the end, it was really tight. I mean, we knew they were going to push in the last period, and we just tried to hold against it, and we did.
Was the thought process to block as many shots as you could and clog the middle on them to frustrate them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we want to eat those shots. I mean, our goalie, Giannone, did an unbelievable job, and we tried to help him as much as we could, but he was great today.
1 game left against the Swedes. Are you going to take a similar tactic?
Yeah, it's going to be excited. I mean, we lost against them in the group stage, so we got the chance to give one back.
And what do you remember about that game?
A lot. I mean, it's one step right now. We want to keep going, and we're playing in the last game of the tournament, and we want to win it.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Right in a tough game, you outshot them 18-1 in the third. What was giving you guys so much difficulty to get shots on the inside?
Yeah, we gave them a chance early. They scored early on, and that's the way it goes.
You got to move on quickly. You got a bronze medal to still play for tomorrow. How tough is it to swallow this one, though?
Yeah, that's tough. You don't come here for bronze, but at the end of the day, try and play for a medal.
Playing against Team USA as well, a heated rivalry, a game you guys must be looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, I think both countries come over here and don't really look for a bronze medal. So we'll see what that game brings tomorrow, and we'll have to try and regroup for it.
Best of luck.
There you go.
That can't be right, is it? Wasn't it 18-1 in the third? That can't be right, is it? Wasn't it 18-1 in the third? Oh, no, sorry, for Canada, yeah. Right, never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind. Okay, all set. Canada's gold medal hopes at this World Hockey Championship end in the crease of Leonardo Giannoni of Switzerland.
A remarkable performance for Giannoni, who played against Canada in the Olympics, gave up 4 goals on 16 shots, and was taken out of the net as Canada won. However, he comes back in the World Championships and was absolutely spectacular. Start to finish, at the start when the Swiss were nervous, and at the end when they were overwhelmed, Giannoni was there. Gord, I have this little theory about an underdog beating a powerhouse. You need great goaltending. They got it. You need to have good special teams. They got 2 power play goals. And you need to take advantage of your chances. 3 goals on 17 shots, a great goaltending performance, and 2 special team goals. It was as good as the Swiss were going to do, and though Canada just piled it on at the end, they just couldn't find the equalizer.
So the Swiss took a 3-1 lead early in the third period. That was their last shot, outshot 18-1 in that last period. But now Canada will try to keep its medal streak alive at the World Championship in the bronze medal game against the United States. The Swiss will face the Swedes for gold here in Copenhagen.